Hey, this is Mike Lindsay from Vital MX, and we have a little bit of a news story here that has developed quite a bit in just the last 24 hours, mostly due to Steve Matthes. On his Pulp MX show last night, they spoke a little bit about Ryder DiFrancesco's future. Now, if you watched the RedBud Motocross National this weekend, you would have seen Ryder DiFrancesco, the Team Green Kawasaki rider, make his pro debut for the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki squad. So he had a good solid weekend for just a rookie coming in, middle of the season, being thrown into it. He went 14-12 on his moto scores, I believe for 13th overall. Particularly the second moto had a great race. Started up front, ran inside a podium spot for a little bit, ran inside the top 5 for a long time. Definitely drifted back after the 25-minute mark, but he said his goal was to try to make an impression and go as long as he could last. So he didn't end up fading back at the end, but really showed great composure and just solid overall for having just shifted off the standard Team Green bike onto the PC bike in just the last week or so to test and kind of make this move. He does have one more Pro National. He's racing before Loretta's. The current AMA Pro Racing rules do allow amateurs to dabble in pro races as long as they don't score more than 40 points. They can still drop back and race Loretta's that year. So he did this weekend at RedBud. He's going to skip this weekend at Southwick and then do Millville, onto Loretta's, and then probably the 4 nationals afterwards. So where we're getting at with this whole story is everybody really thought it was going to be a foregone conclusion that Ryder DiFrancesco would be with Mitch Payne's Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki squad next year. He's been with the Team Green program for so long, has been a standout for them. And we even had him on a short list. We thought he was, but due to some of the unique circumstances, Mitch is bringing back pretty much everybody from this year. Seth Hamaker has shown great promise and improved quite heavily. He's gotten a new re-up. He was out of contract from what we were aware, so they've re-upped him. We believe McAdoo had to be re-upped this year, and then Joe Shimoda is now into a new multi-year deal. And Jet Reynolds, who we haven't actually gone to see race pro yet, does have a contract professionally for this year, next year. He should have already done his pro debut in Supercross, got hurt. Sadly, Outdoors has been delayed by another injury. We should see him finally make his pro debut here in the next couple rounds. But he already has a contract for next year due to the way his amateur to pro deal worked out. And then the last one is Austin Forkner is under contract. There was a lot of debate if he was going to go 450, if Cowie's going to move him up, they're keeping him down. So that gives Mitch already 5 guys. And according to what Matthes said on the show is, right now, they don't have a spot for him next year. There is no set plan for him next year, no set contract. And there were some rumors this year we heard picked up a few times that KTM is very interested in him and maybe a couple other brands. And we were really confused by that because we, again, thought this guy was locked in. He's been with the program for so long. But we've seen this happen before with amateur programs. Particularly, Geico had this problem back in the day where they had so many guys stacked up trying to turn pro while they had good pros they want to hang on to. It gets really messy. And yeah, it's easy to look and say, well, Geico ran 6 guys and Star Racing Yamaha is running 6 guys. Why don't they just take on Ryder? That's not totally Mitch's call on himself. I guess if he really wants to spend the money out of his own pocket, he can make it happen. But a lot of this weighs on the sponsors in the team, in particular Kawasaki, down to salary, bonus programs, things of that nature that can get quite expensive quite fast. Having to hire more mechanics now. They aren't geared up for that at the moment. So it's put it in a very unique situation. So we think Ryder had a very solid, again, first race. We'll see as these next couple play out. But at the moment, there are options for him, and there seems to be multiple teams interested. Like we said, again, we know at one point the Red Bull KTM team was interested. Their plan is to go 2 250s and 2 450s next year from what we've heard. But now there's also that talk of Tom Vial coming over, which could take that spot. Max Volan is still under contract for next year, so that would give them their 2 250s. And then they have their 2 450s currently under contract with Cooper Webb and Aaron Plessinger. So we're wondering if that spot is maybe starting to dry up as an option. There was some interest in just in the moment, but potentially the TLD Gas team might be able to make room for him, even if they retain all their current riders, which we believe Moseman is good, Barsha is good for next year. We're not 100% sure on Pierce Brown. We believe he's good, though. They're still under the 4 bikes that, I think the Austrian brands seem to want to run. Maybe they could do something with him. But at the end of the day, it would be really hard to think still that Kawasaki, Monster Energy, all these guys are going to give up on their their current investment. So it could get really interesting to see, are they able to pull something together, even if it's as simple as, hey, your first year, you're maybe almost no salary, it's bonuses, just a chance to get on the bike and kind of wait out some of these other riders' contracts. But again, we think beyond that, Star's pretty full. They've got, from what we're aware, 6, maybe 7 guys even on 250s next year, at least 6 for Supercross, and we think Jacobs can ride 250 only for outdoors. So that program is very full. It sounds like Husqvarna, we think at this point, might be full as well. So very interesting to see such a top talent just weeks away from being done with his amateur career, to not have a pro deal, somebody we really feel that's been locked in for a long time. So we'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I always say, hey, did this shock you? For me, genuinely, this one is very surprising at this point. Do we see Cowie and Mitch and Monster and everybody come to an agreement? Let's run 6 guys next year. Do we see him being the lucky pickup of another brand? Do they get Cowie spoils because of mistiming and mismanagement on contracts and riders moving up? We'll have to wait and see, but we're sure that this news will start to progress very quickly over the next couple weeks, and we can't imagine by the time we exit Loretta's, these guys don't know what they're doing. So, thanks as always for watching. Like, subscribe, and check us out for more videos.